So here is another essay that we're going to correct. If you would like to watch all of these classes, then you need to come to skype-lessons.com and you'll be able to watch all these classes as I make them. Okay, in some countries, most people prefer to rent their homes rather than to buy them. Now, the original question had they prefer to rent rather than buying them, but that's a classic example of a non-parallel a non-parallel sentence. If we're going to have prefer X rather than Y, we're making a comparison, and that means it sounds much better to use 2 plus infinitives or 2 gerunds, yeah? 2 plus infinitives or 2 gerunds. So you could say prefer renting their homes rather than buying them, or you could say prefer to rent rather than to buy. But what isn't good is using one and then the other, because it sounds awkward and it sounds unbalanced. It's less clear. And so do think about parallel structure, and you'll see that natives don't really think about parallel structure quite often. And I assume that whoever made this question probably has never heard of parallel structure, because most of us haven't, because we don't learn about it at school, and it's a real shame because it's such a useful topic. Okay, let's look at the actual essay, because that's not my student's mistake at all. That's a mistake in the question. So my student has got a lovely introduction here. Have a look. "There's no place like home," Dorothy said before returning to Kansas from Oz, and perhaps most of us will agree with her. Great semicolon, great comma, that's all really well punctuated. I love it. "Shelter is considered by the vast majority of people as one of the most basic and vital physiological needs." Lovely. No mistakes. Lovely double adjective, basic and vital. Excellent. Nothing wrong with that at all, and it sounds really good so far. And I do like the creativity here of mentioning Dorothy and Oz. Why not? It's a piece of literature, and it's a nice way to start. Let's carry on. "People have always had to make a significant effort to have a roof over their head, comma." Now I'll explain why I've changed a semicolon to a comma in a second, but "whether sawing trees or sewing leather, all to create a proper shelter that will protect the occupants from cold winter nights or hot summer days." That's a lovely sentence, that really is. The only problem with it was the punctuation, but before I talk about that, please notice the whether soaring or sewing. That sounds lovely to me, whether soaring nouns or sewing noun. Whether soaring noun or sewing noun. That shows an awareness of parallel structure, firstly. It also shows a binomial, really, soaring or sewing. Now, of course, this isn't a binomial that natives regularly use, but it really works with that nice sound of the s and s. So you've got alliteration there as well, but I really like it. Soaring or sewing, it shows good skill with words. And yeah, you've also got parallel structure in the from cold winter nights or hot summer days. Cold, hot, winter, summer, night, day. These kind of sentences look really, well, they're really powerful sentences. And why are they powerful? It's because of the parallel structure. It really is. And just be aware of it when you're using conjunctions like or and, or but, and then you will make your sentences better and better and better. Now, I have been talking to this student a lot about parallel structure in his essays, and I'm glad to say it has paid off, because he is using it, and his essays sound great to me, precisely because of this use of parallel structure. Okay, now why did